in the 81-82 school year, when Alpena Public Schools was shut down by the federal government for bankruptcy. So that almost ended my career because I was student teaching, and if Alpena schools had been closed 2 more days, CMU would have taken away my student teaching and I would have had to start over. So that almost ended my career before it started. But then I hired back. I'm a little bit of a pack rat, so I looked it up. I signed my contract. First contract says September 1st, 1985, $16,322. That was what my contract was. And it's been an interesting career, and Alpena Public Schools has made me feel so valued in so many ways over the years. Like in my 2nd year of teaching, the principal that was here at the time stopped me in the hall and asked me for my hall pass, which made me feel so valued as an employee. And then a few years later, I was teaching in a temporary, which Alpena Public Schools doesn't know the definition of temporary. The temporary was there for over 20 years. But I was teaching out there, and that was before technology, so I didn't have a computer, I didn't have a phone, I didn't have bells, I didn't have a PA. And so I was out there working one day, it was like January, and I was working on my planning period, grading papers, and then it was lunchtime, so I came in for lunch and the building was empty because they called a snow day and no one came and told me. And they had sent everybody home and I didn't know. So I felt really important then. These are true. And then to really make a girl feel special, one of my supervisors, who might possibly be in the room right now, one day said, "You must not be feeling well because you look like someone dumped a bucket of piss on your head." and that was like special. Alpena Public Schools has always made me feel safe. Like when I was pregnant with my 2nd child, and one of my students threatened to kick me in the stomach until the baby was dead. And so Alpena Public Schools moved him out of my class into the classroom across the hall from me, because that made me feel safe. I can't even make this crap up. At 4 o'clock this morning, all this stuff started going in my head, and I'm like, uh-oh, it's gonna come out of my mouth now.
That's okay.
And it's like, people say, why have you stayed here 38 years? Because I feel safe and valued. But no, really why I've stayed here for 38 marvelous years was summed up yesterday, I think. When a student came into my office bawling her head off. And I'm like, what's wrong? I thought her life was ending. Something big was going on. And she handed me a letter and said, "You're leaving me." That's why I stayed for 38 years. Because of those little moments when someone says, "You can't leave." Well, I am.
You can always come back for testing.
No! See how valiant they offered me the jobs I've hated the most. They also offered me 504 plans and work-based learning. But on a serious side, if there is one, on the serious side, thank you for everybody that's helped me along the way, especially in my years holding office in the union, and for Tom for taking over so I didn't have to be the president anymore. I appreciate that, and so specifically for non-administrators, whether you're a teacher or a secretary or a custodian or whoever, our unions are very important to us. And I've been a union activist